All right, Reverend Crystal Cox here. Today is, who knows? It's, either the 9th or the 10th of May. No, it's May 10th. And I was all ready to go out and mow the yard, right? I'm like, I got my purple pentacle shirt on. I'm all ready. It's sunny. I get to the back door. Like that. Rain. All right, so I'm gonna do a little talk. All right, so last night I went to the Doctor Strange 2 movie, and it reminded me of quite a few things. Like when I was living in the car, Spirit would tell me often. First of all, okay, I jump all over, as you know. Okay. Okay, so in my dreams, I know that I travel to other places. I astral travel. I have practiced to lucid dream and to travel based on my own will, right? I'm not really proficient in that yet. Okay, so I also know that we travel to parallel lives of ourselves. And I experienced that a lot last February of facing demons in my dreams. Going through what I went through for a month where I felt like I was disconnected from God. I felt like I was disconnected from my operating system, my higher self. I didn't know, there wasn't nothing I liked to do. There was nothing, I didn't eat for a month. I didn't need to. Didn't feel, it was a whole different, and I went running at night and I just run and everything was different. But stay focused on the dream time. The dream time, I finally got to a place in this reality where I took control of the dream time. I would have these demons coming after me, these weird creatures. I'd have like a whole bunch of people like forcing people into vans. I was kept in some sort of a large house, and it was the same house, the same stuff. I'd keep going into the dream. Then finally, I would make it clear to me in this reality that I'm not going to take it. I'm going to fight back. I know where they're going to be. I know what's going to happen in the dream, and I'm going to fight. And then I won this one guy. We were sitting outside of this house on picnic tables, and he was carrying like a rifle around, and I just yelled at him to get out of my reality. Get out of my reality. And the dream evaporated. Another one, I just confronted him like nobody like killed me in the dream, right? It was mostly just keeping me in a place. And so I took charge and I was ready to fight back. And then they were arrested and taken away. And then I did that on these people trying to get a bunch of people into vans and stuff too. I stood up to them and then they were arrested and taken away. And it was very profound to me that in this reality, what I consider, whatever, this physical reality, I think they're all physical reality somewhere. But I got really clear on who I am and that I'm in charge. This is my reality. This is my realm. This is my universe. Get out. Get out of my dream. Get out. And it really worked. And then to bring that into this reality and use it in the dreamscape, use it in my mind, use it in, the voices that come in and try to kick your ass and all that. And so Doctor Strange 2 kind of reminded me of this stuff of traveling the multiverse, right? Of every night when I dream that I'm visiting a different version of myself, or maybe highlights, or maybe I'm downloading information that I experienced in those lives. It doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason, but sometimes, me, and then I've been visiting with my friend about it some, and she's had this too, but she's had where she sees herself in the mirror as a totally different person, right? And have you seen The Discovery, Robert Redford on Netflix? It's been on there for a few years, but it kind of is about this. It's interesting, right? So I know that we move realities. I know that every decision created a multiverse or another version of me. Every decision I made or didn't make. Who I chose to stay with, whether I had kids, whether I didn't, what I experienced, I chose to experience. And on that note, there's more to say about before that, but Spirit had told me when I was living in the car that it's a time of neutrality. It's a time of not creating any karma, It's a time of cleanup. It's a time of not necessarily creating new jobs, new connections, new careers, new learning, new enemies, just a time of just me. And I just looked at the horizon and walked the beaches for years. And I basically only talked to one person. Years and years and years. And when I kind of get down about it, sometimes Spirit would just tell me that I'm in the void. And I'm not, like when you shake the Etch-a-Sketch, and to just pay attention. Like beauty, right? Beautiful. The trees so beautiful. I had really cool relationships with crows, and with otters, and with the different ducks, and the different, the different critters on the beach, and seeing baby otters, and connected with the herons and the eagles, and every now and then connect with a person as a street preacher. And I would do healings, and I would be available to talk to people and listen, and I so Spirit had explained to me about where it felt like there's nothing in my life. It feels like, what? Like, that song, where's my family? Where's my wife? Where's my mansion? I'm just sitting in a lifetime that's almost a receptor or something, or a clearing. So where all the other timelines are collapsing into this timeline, and I'm absorbing them. I'm taking in the body pains and healing them. I'm taking in the emotional pains, and I'm healing them and transmuting them from every life that I experienced. And I'm only bringing the gold, as we said in the last video. We're only bringing through the good stuff. And so, you know how you have to, like, you eat a bunch of things in your life, and you find that there's only a certain amount of things that you really, really like. So you know that. So it's about that in every aspect of our life, taking what we really, really like as we ascend to this next level. And not having all of these parallel realities out there that we experienced all this stuff, just taking the gold, taking the best of the best and collapsing it into this one as our carbon-based body turns into the crystalline-based body, and as we ascend. And so we're clearing out everything old and bringing in the new, okay? But, and so that I was just sitting in that. So it was really, when I was sitting in the movie and this flood of information and reminding me, it was comforting of, I am visiting parallel realities. I am processing all that information in my dream time. And the work I'm doing, as a spiritual leader and as a lighthouse, it just is so clear and profound, and bringing all of these emotions in from everywhere, these timelines, but also from others that I agreed to before I came here, right? And of course, we are raising the vibration of Mother Earth just by being here. So each thing we can do to add to that raising the vibration just helps with the whole collective. So as light workers, we bring in all that information and we transmute it, and we send it back out. It's gonna just touch on some different things as I jump around. Make a mental note here to talk about a tarot psychic gal I follow. Well, I'll just say it right now. We'll go back to that other story, the movie. She was talking about, I think she was really down last week, and she says I align with a lot of the stuff she says, and they were doing a reading on basically about people being depression and wanting to die and wanting to, just this overwhelming grief and all this stuff going on, and talking about last weekend, so that would have been Mother's Day weekend, of them using the machines to bombard us with emotional stuff. Right. And so that, because they can send out a pulse that makes you feel like you're sad or grief and depress everybody. Weather machines, do what they do. They got energy weapons. And she was saying this is the last time they're going to be able to use this, or some of the last times, because, the good guys have won, and that's all getting cleaned up. But it really made sense to me, because last weekend there was so many people that I was seeing in my newsfeed that were feeling that way. Now, there's always a lot of us that feel that way, and I've had things on and off my whole life, and in different timelines, whatever. But this was more verbalized, and it was more bold and blunt. People even talking about having tried to kill themselves the night before, and people giving them great advice, and so that's Janine Tarot, and then Sending Ravens Tarot. I watch her stuff every day about the world events. Michelle Felding, by the way, her psychic readings on the world events have been accurate for the last 2 years, like spot on. And it's very inspiring as to what's going on moving forward. I won't talk about it all because I'm going to post this on the old YouTube. And I might do another video today about some other topics and post to Rumble. So I say that a lot, don't I? All right, so back to Doctor Strange. So the multiverse they touched in the first movie. I'm not going to give away the movie Doctor Strange 2, but basically it's interesting now that so many people are moving to so many movies. Like on Disney, there's one called Parallels. I really liked it. But so many things across the board talk about the parallel universes. And we can't deny its existence, right? Even mainstream science has had to, say, okay, what we do to this cell affects the cell that we've shot into another reality. So they're able to see that. They can do a lot more. Of course, they hide it. And the elites, they've had all the medical equipment, the healing, the quantum shifts. They can go into any reality. They can go into another reality and get an organ from a parallel version of them. They can, get gold out of one reality, or they can move between realities. And this is this show is kind of bringing about, what the heck, I got in my eye, that there are people who can move between multiverses. There are people who can move between reality and reality, and there are people who are only in one reality. And that's what we're doing now. So we've been in kind of a mirrored reality to practice, right? To like the Dark Ages for thousands of years. We were hijacked. We were quarantined on Earth. And as we come out of that and move towards the organic Earth, let's say more towards the real Earth, it's my understanding that we're only going to have one version of us. So we can move timelines, I don't know if we're going to create more later, but that we're collapsing into the one, and that one version of us can then travel the multiverse, and that's going to be in the real organic reality. Whereas we've been in a mirrored version of Earth in order to practice our emotions. Once we learn all this stuff, then we can be trusted to instantly manifest. If we're so full of fear and dark emotions and trauma and programs that we can't be trusted to create reality, because if what we think we create, we have to be more in control of our emotions to be able to create reality. I'm sure you can imagine some of that. So the movie had reminded me of that, and then the streets were so interesting. I've been saying in different videos, right? I'm in a different reality, and the streets were so pristine and clean, like they'd been mopped. The houses were beautiful. It was still daylight when I went in, and just the green, the type of green that's in the spring, it's kind of a light green, and later in the summer it turns darker. Everything was just so beautiful and pristine. The streets were clean. The buildings were clean. Houses, everything just perfect. And reminding me, I'm in New Earth. Look around. It's new. It may not seem like it's new, and if you're watching the mainstream news or all this rhetoric, that's out there, and that's not here. That's not in my world. I'm in the eye of the storm. I'm not experiencing that. So when I pretend that I do, if heard my videos on the bee story, but where they were attacking me, but then they weren't, right? I just thought they were because of the buzz. If you listen to anything else outside of your world, the world's going to hell, and that even means it could be a spouse, could be family members, parents, adult children, whatever. It could be really anybody bringing in something that's not in your reality. And I'm in the eye of the storm, and I'm looking around going, it's so beautiful. Everything's so beautiful. But it felt empty in a way, like it's been feeling every time I go to town. And Spirit shows me it's this, we're in New Earth, right? And so there has been a massive energetic cleanse. And things are shifting, and the moment that I choose to see something in reality, or the day that I choose to go to a movie, or whatever I choose, that's my moment in time. And it just was so beautiful. And then I drove around downtown, and it was just magical at night. I prefer downtown Port Townsend at night. It's just so like a magical fairyland, the energy to me, and the water and the lights and the buildings, and there's just a magic that comes up, and mostly when there's not people there. There's people, but they're in other realities. Not necessarily ghosts, but, it's really alive at night for me, and it's more dead during the day to me, even though there's people there. But I was reminded at the magic, and there was no cars, right? And I looked down to where I used to park, and there's nobody there, their streets are kind of empty where there used to be people. They have a new homeless encampment, like 13 acres, and they let people park, I think, campers and different things now. So um, that's changed things a little bit, but the streets were like just pristine, and I just really felt validated in that I'm where I need to be, and reminded that um, this isn't the only reality. And in the movie, they kept talking about, well, we moved to this reality because we thought we'd be happier here, and we're not happier here because happiness, is an inside job or whatever. And they kept wanting to move to reality to be happy. And then they're like, well, we just have to ride this out, and it's good that we're together, right? And good that we're together as light workers to ride all of this out. We came here. Listen to this cry-on video I have in my vehicle. I listen to it over and over and over. He's like, the only purpose that you're here, and the only purpose you've ever been here, is to raise the frequency. We came here to raise the frequency. Even by existing here and doing nothing to raise the frequency, or you don't have to do any meditation, any visualization, any good deeds, any whatever. You don't have to do nothing. Just by existing, you raise the frequency as star seeds and light workers. But anything you do on top of that just raises it more. And so that's the purpose, is to raise the frequency. And meanwhile, we're also gathering experiences of things that we may not have known that we like, that we'll take with us. And when we came here, we kind of got trapped. Souls kind of got recycled, and we were hijacked. And so we've been liberated from the dark forces. However, the cleanup is going on now, and they have no power. All they have left is some of the media. Right? And like with what's going on in world news, when you see people on the ground, or people actually in the know, and have studied this stuff for at least, like 5-8 years, whatever, the truth. And not that there's really any certain truth, but that they're lying, and they're continuing the lie, and they're getting the lie bigger and bigger, and their base is buying it. You're just going, oh my God, but it seems like the light hasn't won with that. But that's just their last move. The dark has lost. And so, just going to town. Well, yesterday when I did my video, I had been laying there, and I was feeling down, and I was feeling like, well, what does it matter? What does it matter what I do? And what is it? And it doesn't matter what I do. I mean, I'm okay with that. It's just that it's this grief, it's this sadness, it's this energy that comes over you that you can't shake. And it was starting to come over me again when Spirit said to yesterday to get up and do a video. And after the video, it lifted. And after the video, I went on a big walk, and then I went to town and went to the movie. And I'm dry fasting again. I'm on 18, 19 hours now. And I quit for like an hour yesterday. That wasn't my plan, but just it feels good. I have plenty of energy. Like I said, I wanted to go mow the yard, but that ain't going to happen now because the lawnmower don't like wet grass. It goes like that. And so then that was just kind of validation on top of validation. I thought, well, after 24 hours of dry fasting, I broke my dry fast at 6 and the movie was at 7. I thought, well, maybe I won't feel up to it, right? But then I had some water and I ate, and I was up for it. I mean, I was fine. And, I had some popcorn and soda pop at the movie. And then I started my dry fast again. And I felt strong today. There's so much amazing information about dry fast. Like this guy talking the other day about some surgery he'd had on his upper back, and surgery didn't work, pills didn't work, nothing he did worked for years and years and years. And then he dry fasted, and he was in a little bit of discomfort for a few hours in that spot, and then it went away and it was healed. And I experienced that in like it'll be my arm, or some spot will just go, oh, and it'll ache or it'll hurt while it's healing it. Like today, for example, my arm really itched. When I first started it back up again last week, my hips just really ached and hurt. And then my thighs really ached and hurt. And but it's not about getting hungry. Also, that's what's so interesting and profound to me, is that I used to think hunger pain was this certain growling noise in my stomach. Well, I learned through dry fasting that's just parasites. That's just molds or things, toxic things that want more food and more sugar. That's not hunger at all. And that hunger is when the roof of your mouth hurts. Because after that that feeling and that hunger detox, I wasn't hungry and I didn't really get thirsty. And I mean, now it's been, like I said, 18 hours, no drink, and I don't I don't have anything. I did about a year or so ago, I did a 3-day one. And that's as long as I went. When I was living in the car, I didn't do more than 20, 24. I mostly did 16s because I wanted to make sure that, you know, I could drive and everything. I drove fine, you know, so, but I've done it a lot. And in the first few times, there is stuff that comes up, you know, because old traumas are stored in the body, and then there's just a lot of different things. So if you have questions about that, email me at reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com. As far as I'm concerned, emotionally, my brain, I had brain swelling, and that went down. I had just so many things. The first couple of weeks that I did it, all of a sudden I could breathe. It was like, like say you got, this is your lungs, right? And say you're only using this much. There's a block here. And then all of a sudden the block broke through and I could breathe. And I thought, well, I shifted reality or something, because I could breathe all the way down to my stomach, like just deep breaths like I never before could do. And I've heard a lot of people talking about dry fasting, and that being something they've experienced too, their lung capacity. And so when you go, you know, 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, you know, if you can even just do 12s and 16, it's just a miracle. Anyway, so everything shifted for me yesterday. The video shifted me. Spirit came through and shifted my energy and vibrated me, and the different tones and the different voices that came through yesterday vibrated my crystalline structure, and I felt better. And it's so weird because sometimes I'm used to feeling bad or feeling something negative. And so like this morning when I woke up and I didn't feel it, right? Sometimes that happens and I'm like, okay, be careful, because you're going to wake it up. Like the monster's going to, like, to feel that anxiety that bad, that so you just kind of tippy-toe, and then it comes back, whatever. So, but today I didn't feel it this morning, and I haven't felt it yet. And the different things that trigger me in the news feed and this and that didn't trigger me today. So these videos help me calling out spirit, letting the voices, letting the toning, letting spirit move through me, allowing that energy is really moving through the lower frequencies. And it's really validating that I am in the reality that I want to be in. I'm in the reality that I need to be in. And, hey, can you see this candle? No, this one's over here. So, there you go. Don't you just love these candles? It's not gloom and doom. I'm right on track. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and validating again what Spirit had told me for years on. Yes, it looks empty. It looks empty. Like say you lived in the same house 20 years and all of a sudden there's only like a few books and a few chairs. That's what the world is to me. Now, there's buildings and stuff are here, but energetically, I feel like it's empty. My world's empty. The world's empty. There's nothing happening. There's nothing going on. It's an energy thing. And then Spirit reminds me, and again last night it was just so profound at how beautiful everything is. And when I do go out, I'm just stunned. Like looking out the window, and I'm stunned at every drop of rain on the leaf is so beautiful and crystalline and rainbow, and the greens of these plants, they just grow right up out of the ground, and they do these amazing things, and they know what to do. And just how profound and beautiful and miraculous everything is, and that I am a new earth, and to look around. And there's nothing that can happen to me. If I move back into the car, so what? Last night I was like, so what? That's doable. And I kind of pictured myself leaving the movie and going to sleep in the car. That's doable. I sure do get warmed up in the car faster than I do a house, The rain on the roof was really nice. The rocking of the car was really nice. It took years and years for me to be able to enjoy that. But now, it is what it is. If I stay here, I stay here. And if I don't, I don't. And I just raise my frequency and let things come to me that are my highest and best good. And every day state what I want and talk to my higher self. And on that note, Spirit wants to come in and say, but I hear you. I invoke the power of the living God. And I'm here to tell you that life is good and can be good. Oh, don't feed me that line of bullshit. Where's this good life? Well, it seems like it's so funny when you think about things in your life. Is there anything that money wouldn't raise the vibration of? Because I like to go, well, money's money. Money's not just money. Money's an energy, and it's a beautiful, powerful energy. This reminds me, the other day I was thinking of, I don't know what I saw that made me do this, but I was examining, what do I do in my life that's not out of fear? And I was like, well, everything I do is out of fear. Right? So, in a way, like if you go to a job, not me, but okay, now I'm generalizing, but if you go to a job, you go to a job because you're afraid you won't have money and you won't be able to do this and that. You just ask yourself, what is it, what do I do? I do because I feel like I have to, or that I'm afraid that what happens if I don't do this? Like, to picture your day, what do I do genuinely just because I want to? And the way the system has worked financially and with cures, suppressing known cures, and just closing in and closing in and closing in, and convincing us that we didn't have the power. We do have the power, and we can create our reality. And I'm in the eye of the storm, right? People are experiencing things that I'm not experiencing, and I don't need to be gloom and doom like I'm experiencing them, and I'm not. When I'm meant to move on, I'll move on. I invoke the power of the living God. I ask that all available angels and archangels be with me now. I ask that Mother God be here now, Brother Jesus, Saint Germain, all available entities of the highest frequency, Pleiadians, Orions, Sirians, Arcturon, Bashar, Cryon, Abraham, all y'all, I ask that you be here and assist me to raise my vibration, and raise your vibration, and raise the vibration of Mother Earth, every plant, every waterway, every bug, and every person. And I raise that vibration now everywhere within the sound and the vibration of my voice. And I raise my vibration. I am love. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am open to receiving money. I am open to my tribe coming into my life now that is kind to me, that loves me unconditionally, that looks out for me and me for them. I am open to new people in my life that are of high vibration. And I ask that everyone find their tribe and find their high vibration. People that are kind to them and supportive of them and healing with them, and not nagging, repressive, toxic people. You just cut the cords of it. And I ask a blessing on those who still have those people in their lives, that they have the strength to remove this. I raise the vibration of my skeleton, otherwise known as my crystalline structure. I raise my vibration, and I invoke the power of money in my life. I invoke the power of fun in my life. I invoke unconditional love. I am unconditional love. I am unconditionally loved, and I am unconditionally loving. I am the power. I do not have to force anything. The ebb and the flow that comes to me based on what I planned to do when I came here to Earth, and based on my intentions and my vibration, I trust that, and I trust myself. And I ask a blessing from all of you I've called here, that all in the sound of my voice, you, me, all out in the vibration, trust yourself. Listen to your intuition. Have the strength and the conviction to say what you mean and mean what you say, and don't let anyone convince you to be their version of you so they're more comfortable with their life. Their shit is their shit. Move on into the life you want. Move them out of your life. You have no duty to no one. Never talking about minor children in these videos. You have a duty to yourself to raise your vibration and to be true to yourself, and not constantly going, okay. And I did that with people for years so that I didn't burn a bridge. What if I need them? What if I starve to death? What if I'm living in a car? What if I freeze to death? Been there, done that. They didn't do fuck all. What was that, Spirit? What I'm saying is, I had one amazing friend through all of my healing the last 7 years, every single day, in every way, that helped to lead me out of the dark, including helping to make sure that I didn't starve and that I didn't freeze. But those people in my life that I let abuse me, that I let convince me that I was something I wasn't and suppress me and hold me down, I did that so that I didn't burn the bridge in case I needed them. And when the moment came of starving and freezing, they were nowhere around. And I am saying this just as an example to say, cut the cords. Don't keep that bridge. Blow that fucker up. Okay? And that will open you up to new life, new people, new energy. I invoke the power of the living God, and I send a healing to all Mother Earth's people. They be able to remove the people from them life that is low vibration, that is background people, that is oppressive, authoritative, dictator, people that are wounded and trauma and stuck in their programs and constantly fucking sucking the energy out of them and me and all. Remove them, okay? As the earth separates, we move away from those people and we raise our vibration. And those people that we didn't want to burn those bridges out of fear that they wouldn't be there to help us, we let them go. Loving, no grudge. I don't need to forgive them. I don't want them in my life. And I will never again let someone abuse me, verbally oppress me, put me down, say anything negative to me at all, based on I need to keep them in my life in case I need them. Okay? There was times when someone would walk up to me out of nowhere like an appointment right from God. And this one gal, for example, it was cold out, and the park ranger had told me to go up and sit by the fire up at this lodge if I wanted to, and I did. And I'm sitting there and just trying to get warm. And this woman comes in, and there's a coffee spot right here to go in, and then there's this lodge, and so there's a fireplace and the couches. And she comes in, never seen her before in my life, and she said, "Oh, I'll be right over." And she goes and gets a coffee and a snack, and she sits down, and she talks to me about Ireland and about religion, very much into Jesus. I talked about some of my alternative stuff, and she, she accepted it, and she was kind of open to it, and she told me about a faith healing she'd went to 30 years ago, and she could hardly see, and she'd been cured, right? And so the power of prayer and the power of healing, it was just beautiful. And then she took me and she bought me a bunch of groceries and she gave me a seat warmer, right? And then 2 months later, it snowed. It was 13 degrees out. And I called out to God to help me because I thought that I would freeze to death. And I had an urge to text her. She'd already left town for the winter and she'd rented her house out, several rooms. And she messaged me back right away, and she got one of her tenants to contact me, and she gave me a room for 2 months and saved me, right? And so I'm sharing this with you to tell you that that's how God works. That's the power of the living God right there, brothers and sisters. And it is in your frequency. And it is between you and your guides and your higher self. It is between you and the divine. Nothing to do with those relatives or friends that you're placating and you're trying to pretend you're something you're not. So you don't burn a bridge, so they'll be there for you. God will bring the person in that moment through the power of the living God when you need it. Ask for what you want. You are the power of the living God. You are a co-creator God. And that example I just gave you, that's how it happens. And I had someone in my life that was there for me every day that didn't necessarily have resources. I went into a drowning phase, probably for about 8 months, where somehow these programs were determined to not create money and determined to fucking kill me. And out of nowhere, she got this job come to her, and she kept me with gas to keep my car warm. And then a year or so later, she moved on from that job, and it was win-win for both of us. And Spirit works that way. The living God works that way. And, you know, we have the power to manifest money, and we have the power to manifest change. And I'd always been able to create all these miraculous things, and then, boom, Spirit took it away. I had to feel the frequency of what it was like to be homeless, to be hungry, to be fucking cold, so fucking cold, and nowhere to go, and nobody listening. I knew that existed, but I had never experienced the actual frequency. And I got so deep into the frequency, I couldn't see my way out. And when I got into this house, I remember that day, I called out to Spirit and I said, I'm done. I'm done with this. I am too far out to shore. I call on the power of the living God to bring me to shore. I need help. I cannot get to shore alone. And wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I got this house a day later. And I thank you, Great Spirit, for this house. And I thank you for my power of the living God incarnate and knowing. And I will not get stuck in depression. And I will not let the darkness of the governments of man, or the demons, or the voices in my head convince me that I'm something that I'm not. I will call on the power of the living God every fucking time those demons say, hey, you gotta go over here. Hey, what if you're homeless again? Hey, what if you got no money? I don't give a great goddamn, because I know that moment. And I know the power of the living God walks right up to me and gives me the grace that I need when I need it. And it might be in the final moment just before death sweeps on over me, but nonetheless, it's there. And I know that I got nothing to fear. So when these programs say, oh, you gotta get money, you gotta get a job, you better go do this, you better go do that, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're fat, you're a loser. When these programs say that, tell them the fuck off. Fuck off, demons, I say. And I call on the power of the living God. And I call on the angels and the archangels to move that dark energy right on out of me, out of my biofield and out of your biofield, and out, dissolving the demons and taking them into the great central sun, and dissolving them in unconditional love. And I ask that all of you be given the strength to stand in your conviction and your truth and know there ain't no moment that can hurt you. You might lose your house. You might lose your car. You might lose everything you thought was your life. And you fucking find out it wasn't your life after all. Because your life is the power of the living God. Every day in every way. You raise your frequency and things come to you that are of that higher frequency and of that higher frequency and of that higher frequency. You have all the power. You have the power of the living God. You are the creator of your life in every way. You are the power, you are the light. I am the power, I am the light. I am the love. I am protected in the dark of the night. I am open to receiving love. I am open to receiving money. I invoke the power of love. I invoke the power of money. I invoke fun, laughter, and joy and play. And I know this day and every day henceforth that no demons got no power over me. And when my world looks empty and bleak and I look out and I see them lilacs and that beautiful pine tree, all those plants and those eagles and those beautiful clouds, I'm not alone. I am the power of the living God. I am the goddess. I am a creator God creating my reality. And just because I'm not creating it the way I might think I want to right this very moment, I trust the plan. I trust my plan that I made before I came here to Earth. And I know that the power of the living God is with me because I've been there. I've been to that very moment where I knew the power of the living God's got my back. And that brother Jesus was listening to me. And I have seen and experienced miracles. I like to deny them and say, what miracles? I ain't got nothing. Look at there's nobody's in my life. I got no income. I got nothing going on. I got what miracles? Every fucking day I had a fucking miracle, right? It was hard. It was fucking hard. Okay? Public restrooms, cleaning in restrooms, doing my dishes in restrooms, living out loud, living in public, being a street preacher, living in the car, being afraid, then it all lifting. And then lifting and lifting. And then one day being done and calling out for help. I called out for help many times. It wasn't time. I hadn't experienced it in the way yet I fully needed to. And what I experience now doesn't really exist. Like I go downtown at night, I'm like, it doesn't really exist. But I'm also not afraid. When I left the movie last night and visualized myself going back to the car, like to live, to sleep, I knew I'd be okay. And I know in this moment I'll be okay either way, whether I have this rental or I don't. And I know the power of the living God. And to keep affirming what I want and what I want in my life, and keep cutting the cords to what I don't want in my life, and not allowing things in my life that are not of my highest and best good, period. And asking for help with that and strength. I mean, you wouldn't think it would be so hard to just tell people to fuck off. But I was so traumatized at removing people in my life. So, well, they've always been there. Well, it's a mom or it's a relative or it's, a past love, and you don't want to remove them and you don't want to hurt them. And, it turns out you could spend 40 years kick gloves not wanting to hurt them. And when you do finally go, it's all your fault anyway, okay? So you can't be and think for other people. You can heal other people only to a certain level and to the level where you're at. Energy healing, but mostly your biofield heals people based on what you've done to already heal yourself. And you raise your frequency. And so to keep those people just dragging you down and draining you, you'd think it'd be easy to say, hey, fuck off, you're not healthy for me. But there's these programs that make you feel like you're going to die. The sadness, the grief that I cannot face your disapproval of me. But even though I've experienced death. I've left my body. I've been in the undertow, where I just gave up to death. I've been in other realities. I know I've died many times. I experienced all this, and it was easier. It is easier. I mean, I've experienced some pretty hard things, and they were easier than cutting off my mother, because or other relatives of just saying, no, you don't get to talk to me that way. You don't get to have access to me anymore. You don't get to treat me that way. You just don't get to. And it really hurts. I remember years and years ago, there was this movie that a friend of mine really liked. And this woman had found this horse had lost its mother. And she was nurturing the horse. And when the horse was ready to go, it was a baby horse. She had to let it go back out into the wild. And so she was inside this little house or whatever, and the horse kept banging on the door to get in, and she was sitting on the other side just crying because she knew she had to let it go. And I remember my friend at the time just being so struck by that. It was so profound, and just crying and crying about it. And that's the moment. That's what you have to do. So even though it hurts, and it hurts the inner child, you can no longer let those people have access to you. And you have to do what it takes to remove them from your life. And it was always so profound to me. I'm afraid of someone that has died, or afraid of someone that lives thousands of miles away, or afraid of what my parents or people in my life might think of me. when they're not in my life, they're not in my real world, they're not helping me, they're not loving me, they're not talking to me, they're only critical, they're only judging, they're an oppression, they're a darkness in my life. Plus, they've created a lot of the post-traumatic stress or trauma or programs. They were part of creating that. And why would I be afraid of them if they're out of my life? But it's the programs. And that's why we got to keep saying over and over, like, you have no power here, you have no power here, and cutting the cords to all that. And on that note, I go, woo, woo. I call a big golden sun above my head. I call back all my energy from all the people, places, events, and circumstances where I left it. Call it into this big golden sun above my head, and I do that for you as well. I call in thousands of angels and archangels to cut the cords around this big golden sun from all these places, people, things, and events. I call in Archangel Michael and this big sword of light. And all my energy comes back to me, filling me in all the places where I let the energy go. My grounding cord down to Mother Earth. I let go of all unwanted energy. I let go of all demons and toxins and programs and trauma, and I do that for you too. Big ball of unconditional love. Boom to your heart. Boom to my heart. Overflowing energy, unconditional love into my aura, into my Taurus stone that I am. Recycling unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love. Golden light right here in my throat chakra, right there in your throat chakra, and out all of your biofield, flowing up into your aura, overflowing up above your crown chakra, filling your biofield. I call in the power of the living God. I call in money, I call in freedom. I am sovereign, I am free, I am peaceful, I am glee. I am awake, I am aware, I am love. I am the truth, I am the light. I am the power of unconditional love. I am creating the reality I prefer. I am receiving money every day in every possible way. I am healthy in every cell of my body. I am loved. I am loved, and I am loving. I am loved. I am loved. I invoke the power of money, the power of fun, the power of joy. Right now, I'm into that one. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. And the flame carries out peace. And the flame carries out abundance. Money. Money. Money changes everything. I am healthy. I am strong. I am peaceful. I am loved. I invoke the power of the living God. I ask that you bring me a permanent home, that I never have to leave unless I choose to. I ask that you bring me a permanent income now that is of high vibration. And I ask that you bring me the money now for my church sanctuary. And so it is. Amen. I invoke the power of the living God. I invoke the power of the living God. I can feel the power of the living God. I'm creating every day everything I want in every way. But Spirit, I'm not. Well, Reverend, it may look that way to you, but there's a reality that's not having you be blue. You're sitting here at a clearinghouse, you're clearing out the old, you're bringing in the new, and you're doing this for you. You're doing this for your children in all realities. You're doing this for the citizens of Mother Earth. You're doing this for those watching. You're doing this for mothers, plants, and animals. You are raising the vibration which you came here to do. There's nothing to be afraid of. But why do I feel so sad in the void? Are you sad? I'm not feeling it right now. Well, then why are you talking about it right now? Because I'm afraid I'm going to be sad again tomorrow. Well, lady, you let tomorrow be tomorrow. I got you today, and I'll have you tomorrow. All right, let's pull a card, see what I got going on today. For me and for you. All right. Oh, I was on a walk yesterday. I'll show you this up close, but and this, I found this in the roadway. I don't want to show that on camera. Let's see. Let me lift it up. The thing is you do, oh my gosh, okay. All right, well that one then, okay. Look at that, see? Can you see it? It's stuck to this weird. All right, well I'll show it to you in a minute. But basically it's a marijuana leaf, and I was out walking and it was on the ground. Isn't that beautiful? I'll show you that in a minute. And I'm in Washington, you know, where it's legal and all, but I never seen one in the street like that. We don't, you know, you don't buy them with the leaves or whatever. I've been around them. Anyway, let's just stop that conversation there. Alrighty then. What do we need to know today for our highest and best good, Spirit? Okay, gonna be the bottom card. Okay. Butterfly Maiden. Butterfly Maiden. And I will show you that up close in a minute. Butterfly Maiden is transformation. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. Okay. Show you those later. So, Butterfly Maiden. So, the butterfly in the, you know, in the cocoon, you know, you're all gooey and you're icky and it's all dark. And then, boop, boop, then one of you got wings. And then all your friends are like, well, where'd you go? And, you know. Okay. B is for butterfly. Ha, ha, ha. B is for butterfly. Just the word butter kind of makes me hungry. I don't really get hungry on the dry fast, but I get to wanting to eat because you know, it's something to do, I guess. And you know, you're watching TV, you're sitting at the computer, you're like wanting a snack. And so, but I'm not feeling like hungry. Anyway, okay. Butterfly Maiden is all about transformation. You are experiencing enormous amounts of change right now, which brings with it great blessings. Message from Butterfly Maiden. As you go through this period of change, it's natural for you to wonder if your future is safe. I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. I was walking yesterday, I was doing my affirmations, and Spirit said, now why do you want money? Well, shouldn't that be obvious for everything? House Spirit says, why do you really want money? Why do you want money? I says, I want money so I can feel safe. Then I started singing up to the living God. I invoke the power of the living God. I invoke the power of safety. I invoke the feeling of safety. I am safe. I am always safe, and I have proved that here today in this conversation. There isn't nowhere that I've been taken, even down to the death's door, and no food and freezing, that I have not been safe. I am safe. I am always safe, and I will always be safe, and you are safe, and you will always be safe. And so it is. Okay. As you go through this period of change, it's natural for you to wonder if your future is safe. I'm here to assure you that you're part of nature's cycles of birth, cleansing, death, rebirth. To bring in your desired newness, you must allow old parts of your life to fall away. I invoke the power of the living God to move out the old programs of the stagnation, to move out the old programs, to move out the negativity, move out the poverty, move out the pain, move out the oppression, and bring in the new, and raise the frequency, and bring me money, and bring me love, and bring me fun, and bring me joy, and so it is done. Well then. To bring in your desired newness, you must allow old parts of your life to fall away, and so it is we have, and it is done. And when we blow out our candles today, we affirm that that is done. The old is fucking done. And we give it to God, and we let it go, and we dissolve it, and whatever needs to be done. Now, these changes are to be celebrated and not feared. I will not fear change. I will not fear change. I celebrate change. I allow change. I welcome in the new. I welcome in new friends, new family, new lovers, new money, new adventures, new experiences, new events, new plants, new flowers, new smells, preferably good ones. So it is. Give thanks for this shedding of the old. I thank you, Great Spirit. I thank the power of the living God. I give thanks for shedding this old energy, for letting go of these old programs, for deleting the program of poverty, deleting the program of loneliness and cold, sad, and grief. By God, it's fucking gone forever. Amen, brothers and sisters, and so it is. These changes are celebrated by me. I am not afraid. I give thanks to the shedding of the old, and I embrace all the lessons that it brought to me. And then I let that shit go. I let it go in the name of Brother Jesus. I let it go, and I ask for help to let it go more as a citizen of this realm. And I ask that you assist me, Spirit, all that I've called today, and assist those watching, and all without the sound of my vibration, to let go of the old programs, to let go of the pain, let go of the suffering, the oppression, and the darkness. Right now, so it is. Amen. Be giddy with excitement at the newness of the gifts that are now being bestowed upon you. And let the magic surprise you with delight. I am giddy with the delight of the surprise of what's going to be next. And I do not fear change. I'm excited at the newness of the gifts that are coming to me. And I let magic surprise me and delight me. The beauty of the leaf. The magic of some new person walking up and saying something that is so in alignment with who I am. I had that happen recently in line somewhere on a very unexpected day. Just somebody talking the synchronicity. My programs get to telling me, oh, the world's gone mad and nobody believes like you do. And then they walk up and they believe like me. I allow the new. I let the change go. I'm open to the surprises that delight. So let's read that again. These changes are not to be feared. They are to be celebrated. I give thanks for the shedding of the old, and I embrace the new, and the lessons that the old brought I am thankful for. I embrace all of them, and I let them go. They were mine. I chose them. I created them, and I let them go now. I am giddy with excitement at the newness of the gifts that are now being bestowed upon me and upon you, and I let the magic surprise me. Let the magic surprise you. Okay. Don't be concerned about endings as they're bringing in the new, okay? The ending has to be over for you to have new. My analogy yesterday was food, right? It's like, you have to, I don't know, my programs are kind of fighting in my head because I'm like, well, why can't I have the new with the old? Why can't I let in new experiences and hang on to the old? And what does it mean to let go of the old? And I got all these things spinning around. I'm like, so let's just, I bring in the power of the living God. I raise my frequency. I let go of these doubts. I let go of these doubts. I am safe. I am wealthy. I embrace the new. I embrace the magic. Your prayers have been answered. Amen. This change that is upon you now is an answer to your prayers. Hallelujah, amen to that. I let go of the old. Hallelujah, amen, and so it is. I am not worried about any changes of new. I allow them to come to me, through me, around me. I look around and I love and I joy and I get off my own back. I will watch a movie. I will watch a leaf. I will drive around. I will go to town. I will lay in bed. I will not eat green eggs in ham. I will stare at the wall. I will read a book. I will talk to a friend. I will talk to no one. And I will know that all of that is me and all of that is glee. And it's all fine. And when I dine, the feast of feasts, I will be having embraced, programs are trying to rephrase that. I embrace change and I allow things that I love into my life. And I allow myself to be at peace. And I allow myself to be joyful. I am joy. I am joyful. I am peace. I am peaceful. I am abundant. I am abundance. I am the light. I am the love. I am the lighthouse who's moved away from the shore and is beaming forevermore. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am wise and I am not afraid to speak my truth. I do not doubt myself for your beliefs. I do not doubt what I know to be true because you think it's disinformation. I know who I am and I embrace that. And I stop kicking my own ass in the name of what? What they think of me, what they want me to be. I lay there suffering and sad so everyone else will be okay. They don't even know that I'm punishing myself for some sin that was in some program long ago. I embrace change. I allow change. I let go of the old. I let go of all that no longer serves me. I let go of all that is not of my highest and best. I let go and I embrace change. Don't worry about these changes. They truly are for the best. All right, let's learn a little bit about the butterfly maiden. Butterfly maiden is a Hopi Native American Kachina. The word Kachina is spelled K-A-C-H-I-N-A, and it means spirit. So, she is a Hopi Native American Kachina who ensures that crops yield healthy and bountiful harvest. So call on the butterfly maiden today to be with you to bring in your harvest. She's a springtime goddess who helps us escape from any cocoon situation that's trapping us or impeding our growth or joy. Hallelujah. I embrace the butterfly maiden today. I invoke the butterfly maiden today. Butterfly maiden, I ask that you assist us to transform, to bring in change, to let go of all the goo of the cocoon. Butterfly maiden, I ask that you assist us to bring in the rainbow and the joy and the freedom of high flying and the beautiful abundance. If you're feeling stuck, she's a wonderful goddess to call upon during the emerging process. She'll also guide you through life's transitions and help you spread your wings. We call upon the butterfly maiden today to assist us to spread our wings. I call upon the butterfly maiden right now to help me spread my wings and to dissolve my cocoon and cut them strings. All right, we're going to do one from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. No, seriously, we are. All right. Are you ready? The one on the bottom piqued my interest. The sweat lodge it was. All right, so we're going to cut them neck cards right here. And we just card right here. Taming the Wind. Number 55. I'll show you the card up close at the end of this. Unless this cuts off, and then, well, it does. It's called Taming the Wind. You might even have this deck. I don't know. Okay, number 55, Taming the Wind. Okay, let's see what's going on now. Number 55. That's 5, that's 10, that's 1. Okay. For all you numerologists out there. Alrighty then. Here, the feather. A symbol that is used in clearing ceremonies. For smudging, reminds you of the sacred commitment you make to your life. Okay, you are committed to your life. All the stuff we just did, well, all of this talk today. The feather takes that up in smoke, and it'll be with the smoke of these, also the intention when we blow these out. The smoke that rolls up, and the feather, the symbol of the feather does that. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Okay. This is the symbol of consciously bringing the spiritual into the material. I invoke the spiritual into my material world, infusing the world with reverence and an acknowledgement of the higher planes of existence that influence and animate all life. The feather is a symbolic reminder of deliberately entering into a partnership with the Great Spirit, the living God, to co-create, as you are a creator, crow, you're a co-creator God, for the highest and best good of all. Amen, and so it is. It is time to clear your energy. Be present and become conscious of how you communicate. It's so interesting how all this is synchronistic, right? And so be present in every moment. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Don't sugarcoat anything to keep people in your lives. And the people around you and the people in your head that are actually programs or voices that make you feel bad. If you feel bad by something going on in your mind, it's not yours. Okay? So it's time to clear your energy, be present, and become conscious of how you communicate. This is a good time to write in your journal and put your thoughts into a cohesive form. Perhaps you need to actually do a smudging ceremony in your home or office, creating a sacred space to write about your dreams and desires. Write down what you want, like you're ordering dinner, exactly how you want it, and so it is done. Visualize all parts of it to the best of your ability, as clear as you can. Hear what's to be heard in the life you want. Smell the smells. See what is there as vivid and clear as you can. There's much detail. Okay, so just remember that when taming the wind appears as a symbol, it is a time to honor the Great Spirit with reverence and respect. It is time to clean up any misunderstanding with others. Mean what you say what you mean, cut the cords, be clear about who you are. And we brought all that golden energy in through the crown chakra today and burst it out. Okay, this is not a time to be right. It's not about right or wrong. It's about your truth and your preference for you. Okay, it's time for you to understand rather than be understood. Good things come out of this restraint of your tongue and your pen. You'll be surprised at how things get resolved when you allow for all sides to have value. So you go, all sides have value. You're not saying something doesn't have value if you don't prefer it in your life. You're just saying, I don't prefer that. I won't allow you to talk to me that way. And you cut off all the dead. All right. I guess that's where we're going to leave it today. I believe in the power of the living God, and I ask that the power of the living God vibrate my crystalline structure and raise my frequency. I delete the program of poverty. I delete the program of sadness. I delete the program of depression. I delete the program of grief. You hear me, programmer? I delete them now, and so it is. I invoke the power of the living God, and I invoke love. I invoke the white light of the Holy Spirit. cleansing all the old, dissolving any old, any negativity, allowing change, allowing new. And so it is. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. See this leaf? Isn't that cool? I pressed it between two of my cards in my wallet. My library card and a card. Oh, yeah, and then I'm going to show you these. Okay, so this is Taming the Wind. So I guess that is backwards. I guess I am inverted. This camera inverting me is too weird. Okay, and this is the Butterfly Maiden. Right? Call upon the Butterfly Maiden to help you. Now, so this is like opposite talk here. All right, so everything's in reverse. I wonder, this looks in reverse to me. I wonder if it's going to be in reverse to you. I'll let you know later in the video. Okay, see my purple pentacle? Purple pentacles flying on panthers. I invoke the power of the living God. I send you love. I send you love. I send you love. I will not suffer. I will not let in grief. I will not let the lower frequencies grab at my legs and pull me asunder. I invoke the power of the living God every moment of every day. And I raise my frequency. And I call in joy. I call in love. I call in good luck. I call in money. I call in freedom and sovereignty in every way. Bless you all. Amen. I love you.